Attention, star seeds. Attention, light workers. Attention, root workers. Attention, conjure doctors. Attention, nature-based faith practitioners. Attention, spiritualists. Attention, diviners. Attention, prophets. Attention, the spiritually eclectic. Attention for those seeking the road less traveled. This is time-sensitive cosmic information, so you might want to catch this. This is time-sensitive cosmic information that you can use in your prayers, manifestations, and other spirit works. Beam up now via this video or the audio link in this video's description box to get this on-the-fly esoteric wisdom. Beaming up now. Ashe emojibatu Olodumare Bobo Egungun Ara Orun Bobo Orisha for another day to bask in the goodness of Onile's sacred earth. Every day given is very special, and here are a few details, cosmic details, pertaining to how. I'm Ayansa JT Muse, and this is your early rising or your evening settling mystic forecast. Ekule. How is everybody doing this evening? I hope you're feeling as amazing as I do. It is 12 minutes past your 9 o'clock hour Central Standard Time, and it is time for your 9 p.m. or 6 a.m. Mystic Weather Forecast. And as always, I am Ayansa J. Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the mystics, and the mojo on 222.9, the Mothership, internet radio for the road less traveled. And who said one woman couldn't build a whole 24-hour radio station? Well, I just did, so if you need a little inspiration, just take a good look at your girl. Give over to the Most High. And the Most High will give everything back to you, full and running over. It is your Mars-ruled, Ogun-venerated Tuesday, the day the good book said that the Most High separated the land from the sea. So we deal with the green things. And in Orisha traditions, Tuesday is sacred to the Orisha Ogun, the divine masculine essence that rules war, tools, owns all the roads, and all of those good things in between, the Orisha of old and new civilization. And who runs with him? Ochoosi, the fast tracker, the one that gets you to your destination the quickest. Ashe. So here on the Mothership, we started at 12 a.m. with your heart chakra sleep meditation. Then we had the forecast and then the rising Bimbe till Ogun. And all day long, we've been jamming the old school fathers of song. And now we're getting down to time to wind down Tuesday's energy and get into what's going to happen when Ogun tosses that time clock to the Orisha Oya and the masculine Mars shifts into the feminine Uranus with Mercury underneath. And we're hitting the week's climax. And who doesn't love a good climax? Third eyes over circles, everybody. Ibashe o Ishegun, Ojo Ishegun. That's the day of victory in the Yoruba tongue. So what did you conquer today? That's what I want to hear about. How did the Orisha Ogun inspire you to use the tools that are already in your hands? And we all got tools in our hands. It's just a matter of whether or not we recognize them. But whatever those tools are, I certainly hope you're using them to build the kingdom. Today vibrated on a 3, so that's Eshu energy. And those of us that practice Orisha tradition knows that Eshu and Ogun kick it tough. So what crossroads did you might have come to today? What choices, what decisions, what tools? That's what happens when we're in the Mars day of action. We take action based on our emotions from Moon Day. That's why you got to get all that lined up at the beginning of the week. And this is a day of a lot of endings and beginnings because Eshu and Ogun are rough riding in Zodiac House 12. And what do I mean by that? Today is the last day of Scorpio season, so there's an ending. So tomorrow we will be pulled out of the fixed waters of Scorpio and into the mutable fires of Sagittarius. And Ochoosi is right there with the arrows, ready to aim high. Get it? The arrow on the horseman? Yes, Deep Space House 9. So there's two endings. The moon is waxing tonight in the house of Pisces, and that's the last house of the zodiac on the last day of Scorpio season. So there's some endings going on here before we get to some new beginnings on tomorrow. So whatever loose ends you need to tie up, those of you that are listening at 9 o'clock, you got 2 hours and some change to tie those knots. Those of you that are listening on Wednesday Rising, well, it's already Sag season, so we'll just leave that at that. Oya energy does have a stir in there, and this is a third ending energy because it is the ninth Ibasheoya Tuesday of autumn equinox. And 9 is the number of finality. 9 brings things to an end. 9 is the number sacred to the Orisha Oya. Iya me. Ashe. So you got a lot of endings happening tonight. So make sure you end things on a good dang on note. And that's it for Tuesday. Got to wrap that up real quick so that my 6 a.m. listeners aren't listening too much about yesterday. I'm going to wet my whistle just really quickly. And when I come back, we're going to talk about Wednesday's energy. Ashe? And on the music wise, on the mothership, Wednesday brings you the divine feminine energy again, brought to you by the more exotic mothers of song. I'm going to give you a quick look at that, and then I got to run back into the other room and grab my KWANZAA book because I got to share that with you, y'all. I got 222 pages of Kwanzaa greatness because I'm excited about the holiday. Everybody is excited about Thanksgiving and Christmas and Black Friday. Well, I'm excited about Kwanzaa, and I'm going to share that excitement with you, with how you can keep the principles year round with the Kwanzaa book. And I also have the audio and ebook available as well so that you can use it and get it infused into your life and keep the Nguzo Saba year round. I'm Mayanza J. Muse, and you are listening to Radio for the Road Less Traveled, 222.9, the Mothership. Beam up. Did you enjoy the work and greenery wisdom of the Paradopotis? Did you enjoy the work and greenery wisdom of the Paradopotis? Well, I hope you did, because now it's time to take to the skies on my Windsdaily blog, the Malbec Planetarium. That's www.poeticallymuse.org/Malbec Planetarium. That's POETICALLYMUSED.org/MALBECPLANETARIUM. Bet you won't join me there tomorrow to learn a few secrets of the quasars. Ashe. Wednesdays, Mercury, Uranus, purples, Ibashe Oya, Ibashe Nanaburuku, maroons, exotic voices of the mothers. Welcome to Wednesdays on the Mothership, 222.9. Beam up. And we're back. So, in case you're just now joining us, I'm Mayonza J. Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the mystics, and the mojo on 222.9, the Mothership. And this is your nightly mystic forecast. So, let's talk about Wednesday, WINDS. I love it, Day of the Winds. Why? Because in many Orisha traditions, Oya is venerated on the day Wednesday. Planetarily, her planet is high in the air on this day. That's Uranus and Mercury. Now, Uranus is actually the higher octave of Mercury, but Mercury is the avatar of Eshu. So, with that said, Eshu is at the middle of the week as well. But Eshu got it like that. He can go wherever he wants because nothing in Ifa tradition gets done without Eshu. Putting that in plain English, it always begins with the choice because your choice and your intentions are the key to any door you open, balanced or imbalanced. So I titled tonight's show, or today's show, those of you that are listening at 6 a.m., Ochoosi's Launchpad to Sag Season, hosted by Oya. So we got two sets of double digits on this Wednesday, 11/22/2023. And that's a pretty solid foundation. That's why I called it a launch pad. And speaking of foundations, the day begins on a vibrational numerology of a 4. Okay? So we really want to start Sagittarius season with a solid launch pad because the way arrows work against you is when you're not clear on what you're aiming at. So dare to be very bold, very assertive, free of all limited thinking. What are you aiming your arrows at? Aim and shoot, baby. It is the ninth Wednesday of autumn equinox, so there's another scoop of Oya energy on Oya's day, and we're entering into the ninth house, so Oya is really doing the most on this Wednesday. And this is for higher foundations. Aim for it, because we're in that shift between the Piscean age of believing and the Aquarian age of knowing. And the moon is waxing in Aquarius, so you got some extra fire under the bottom of that rocket of yours. Unbridled drive into aiming high into the mutable fires of Sagittarius season. How do you utilize that energy, right? Allow yourself to, I would say, try this. Sit down somewhere with a pen and a piece of paper and write down exactly what your life would look like if money didn't exist, if limitations didn't exist. And once you get that list done, then dare to aim at it. Ashe? Ashe. So I'm going to wet my whistle real quick, and when I come back, we're going to talk more about what's going on in the quasars. I'm Mayonza J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic forecast on 222.9 The Mothership, internet radio for the road less traveled. Beam up. Before sight. Before sight of shells, there were stanzas, stanzas of my soliloquies. Before sight of wisdom, before sight of worship, there was only my written word, Afoshe. Before sight of divination, before sight of Dafa, there were diaries, diaries in dozens. Before sight of revelation, before sight of reason, there were only my rhapsodomancies of rhyme, rearranged to rhythms of my lipstick-kissed alchemy, alchemies of my depths, my valleys, my mountains, my visions, my empathies, my testimonies, my joys, my sorrows, my love. Before sight of awakening, before sight of airwaves, before sight of anointing, there were archives of my allegories. Before sight of clarity, before sight of conversion and clergy call, there were collections of my ink prints. Before sight, before sight, before sight of prophecy, before sight of priestesshood, there was poetry. Poetries that bear my fruit. There was me. And we are back. So if you were born on November 22nd, happy solar return. And may Olodumare, the Orishas, and the ancestors bless your road that you will be led to many, many more, filled with Bobo Ire. And what does Bobo Ire mean? Many, many blessings. But if you were born on this day, you let the wrongs of others worry you, and you seem to feel it is up to you to correct them. Oh no. You are serious and studious and enjoy only the highest type of literature. Yeah, that sounds like somebody I can hang with. You are always careful of appearances and are generally cautious. Your love is strong and deep. Okay. All right, all of us in the other 11 zodiac houses, you know what time it is. Show the Sagittarius is in your life some love on their turn up season. And I really hope you Sagittarius House 9 residents show up and show out and really make the most and do the most in your season. And everybody else, come on now, turn up with them because haterade is not alkaline. And all of us carry Sagittarius energy in us. You just have to find where it is in your natal chart. And if you need some help understanding the Sagittarian energy in you, your girl has a specialized astrology reading just for that. Okay? But study house 9 in your natal chart, study the placement of Sagittarius and the placement of Jupiter, and how you apply that to your sun sign and your numerology. I'm pretty good at that. So if you need some help with that, then please, by all means, book yourself a session and we can help you to understand yourself in the Sagittarian light. Ashe, we're in the first day of the first decan of Sagittarius season. And we are in the child of the word system and in the African system of astrology until December 3rd. The child of the word says a lot about our forte or the power of the tongue. And since we're sitting on that launch pad into aiming high, you want to be very careful with negative talk, with negative thinking. Fill your head with positive talk, positive affirmations, and embracing life to be what it truly is, limitless. All right, so we got what? 21 days until the last Mercury retrograde of 2023. So, Geminis and Virgos, check up because your planet is about to start busting the moonwalk. And we still got three that are still doing that, and that would be Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. Neptune went in on June 30th, will be coming out on December 6th. All of those numbers are multiples of three, so we know ASU energy is all involved in this Neptune's retrograde from June 30th until December 6th. Very strong Neptune retrograde because she's retrograding in her own strongest house, Pisces. Lord have mercy. So, a lot of things are going to be straightened out with you as far as living what you say you believe. You know, dealing with delusionism from manifesting, separating confusion, your thoughts from other people's thoughts. You'll be having a lot of dreams during this time. So allow yourself to take the time to really meditate and process the things that Neptune's retrograde is there to teach you. Okay? If you are born in the sign of Pisces, this retrograde will affect you more than it will the other 11 houses. And then we have Uranus retrograde that went in on August 28th. And we're going to get comfortable here for a while, babies, because Uranus is still in retrograde and we'll be there until January 27th of next year. Ibashe Oya, Uranus is Oya's planet. That's my Orisha mama. Planet of intuition, shakeups, and sudden changes. So allow Oya to stir things up in you and stir things up in your life because you're being challenged to live what it is you say you believe. That means a lot of the old outdated patterns gotta go. And it doesn't mean that you're denouncing the God you serve. You're just releasing what doesn't serve you so that you can be more authentic in your connection to divinity. And like Neptune, this is a very strong retrograde because Uranus is retrograding in her own strongest house, Aquarius, the house of knowing. So Oya may shake some things down to your core to make you live what you already know. Ashe, Ashe. All right, if you were born in the house of Aquarius, this retrograde will affect you more than it will the other 11 houses. And the last planet that's in retrograde right now is Jupiter. Jupiter is the Shango planet of expansion, heat, and good luck. And with this planet moving in retrograde, the principle of expansion flips into contraction. So we're bringing some things in. And by this retrograde being in the house of Taurus, that's bringing in good things, positive manifestations concerning love, concerning wealth, and concerning valuables. And we'll be here until December 3rd. And so you want to reassess your habits, even if you've sown good karma, because a higher level of living will require a higher level of you. Okay? Now, if you've been out there planting thorns, don't get mad when that corn patch end up back on your doorstep and you harvest that shit and you gotta eat it. But anywho, I am my Auntie J Muse. This is your Mystic Forecast. And when I come back, we're going to get to your nightly tarot draw brought to you by my favorite of all my collection. And that would be the Mayan Oracle. This is 222.9, the Mothership, Internet Radio for the road less traveled. Love and light, everybody. I'm my Auntie J Muse coming to you on this moon ruled Yemanja venerated moon day. And as you can see, I am sitting in front of my KWANZAA altar space because yes, just like everybody else is getting their Christmas trees and stocking stuffers and picking up stuff for Thanksgiving and making those lists and checking them twice, well, I'm getting just as excited about the KWANZAA holiday as any other holiday. And I honestly have to admit, I fell in love with KWANZAA and I just didn't want to tell anybody because KWANZAA is getting more widely celebrated, but at the end of each and every KWANZAA year, the question always comes up: how can the KWANZAA principles be kept year round? And that's one of the things that really made me fall in love with the KWANZAA holiday, because when I really started studying the principles, the 7 principles of KWANZAA, the Nguzo Saba, can really help with your spiritual ascension and your spiritual growth, both individually and collectively. And because I practice a nature-based faith, yes, I love praying and lighting candles. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I love it. I love dressing candles with the oils of nature and taking the goodness out of each and every one of God's creative artworks and turning it into something good. So this is why I am so in love with the KWANZAA holiday. So I'm going to be doing the most from now until January 2nd. So put on your hard hats and get ready to beam up. And as far as answering that question, how can the principles of KWANZAA be kept year round? Well, I came up with a solution for that because I'm the type of girl. I'm only going to think about something for so long before I actually do it. You know what I mean? So I came up with a solution, a 222 page solution. Don't you love that 222 and that divine alignment? I can't make this up. Like, check it out. It's right there. See that? Right there. 222 right there at the end. And this is my 7th published book called KWANZAA in Orbit, KWANZAA Beamed Up. So I've created a guide through the Nguzo Saba ceremonies using astrology, numerology, candle and color vibrations, herbal elixirs, biblical scriptures, scriptures that align with the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take it to the church too. Healing stones, meditations on the orishas, original poetry, and just some of my commentary sentiments on the Kwanzaa's principles. And this is a book that you can use all year. And that's what I mean by Kwanzaa in orbit. For example, today is Moon Day, right? So the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Imani, comes on a Moon Day. So you're going to see a lot of Imani stuff on my Moon Day page. That's how you keep it in orbit. And this book is going to teach you how to keep it in orbit, complete with where the planetary alignments is, the daily numerology of each Kwanzaa day, and the spiritual messages that I get from the Orishas as to how to align our spirits with these principles that can not only change our lives individually for the better, but change our lives for the better. So if you really want to get into the ceremonial practices of Kwanzaa, right from the comfort spaces of your own house, then by all means, grab your copy of Kwanzaa in Orbit, Kwanzaa Beamed Up, and stay tuned to my stations because I'll be producing a lot of Kwanzaa material over all 9 of my Facebook pages, all 7 of my Instagrams, my TikTok, and of course, over the waves of 222.9, the Mothership. Internet radio for the road less traveled. I'll be posting shopping lists of things that you can get to eat on for your nights of Kwanzaa because food is a part of the celebration. So when you ask yourself, what are you cooking for Thanksgiving? Ask yourself what you're cooking for Kwanzaa while you're at it. Trust me, it works. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. Really getting into the ceremonies of celebrating Kwanzaa at home. And now I've packaged up the formula and I am passing it down to you. Kwanzaa in Orbit, Kwanzaa Beamed Up. It's available on Amazon for the paperback copy. And I have the audio book and the ebook in a bundle together that you'll be able to get off of my pin site link when you beam up to my exclusive orbit. Love you guys. Take care. And Habari Gani, what's the good news? Let's start spreading that around early. We got about what? Today's the 20th. So what? We got 46 days until Kwanzaa? Yeah. Let's gear up like we would for any other holiday. And if you don't celebrate holidays, now you have a reason to, because the 7 principles of Kwanzaa is something you can plug in. It's versatile. You can use it in your growth. Ashe. And we are back. So, those of you that are listening over the Mothership's airwaves, continue to enjoy the sounds of Cool and the Gang's Summer Madness. Those of you that are watching on my Instagram got to sit there and watch me blink for a minute. Those of you that are watching on my Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter are seeing my Mayan Oracle deck in which the 4 measure card is inverted. So what this means is you're experiencing a creative burst of energy or a lot of massive downloads that you weren't quite sure how to process yet. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that the heavens have given you a lot. So to whom much is given, much is expected. So with the measure card showing up upside down, one of the messages is to channel your focus and focus on one thing at a time. It's better to measure 10 times and cut once than have to measure, then cut once and got to go back and measure 10 more times. Then you're going to make a big old mess because then you got to glue and tape and, fix it. But another message of the measure card is that sometimes you have to surrender to your organic flow. Now I know I just completely contradicted myself, did I? Actually, I didn't, because the second card that came up was the polarity card. Let me show the first card to Instagram. So measure came up inverted in this tarot reading. Okay? And so with polarity, you want to balance your divine masculine aspects with your divine feminine aspects. And what does that mean? Know when to drive forward and when to sit back and receive. Know when to think and know when to allow yourself to be divinely guided. And this is all a part of self mastery. This message is about self mastery. And to further drive this clarity home, I flipped the deck over, and what do you know? We got the Chikon star glyph, the serpent energy. Don't be scared of it. Oh, look, and Khan right underneath. So, with Chikon showing up underneath the bottom of the deck, this is a message about combining your mind and your body. Because sometimes our mind thinks one thing and our body does another. That's how we get a lot of procrastination type of energy, where your Ori will tell you to do one thing, but your body will put it off. Your mind will tell you to go one way and you'll go another. Your mind, your Ori will tell you to avoid a certain situation, but your practical self wants to give the benefit of the doubt. So, this is speaking about creating balance with inner polarities that are working against each other in your being. Because you see, the Mayan Oracle Tarot deck is more about inner work than it is about the external things like money, love, family. This really isn't the tarot deck you want to consult for that. This tarot deck talks more about the inner work that needs to be done to change things on the outside. So, with this card showing up, and it's saying more about being in your body, grounding your root chakra. So this speaks a lot to people who are star seeds, who are very highly spiritual, to where we can be so far off in our spiritual space that we get detached to what's here on earth. And this reading is just calling for a better balance with that, with measure, with polarity, and allow yourself to bob and weave in your own skin. Because what do snakes do? They slither. They move their bodies from left to right, and when they need to shed an old self, they shed the whole skin, not just a few flakes. And this tarot message is inviting you to do the exact same as you ascend into your higher level of being. I have personal readings available for those of you who are interested. And I'm going to read this excerpt really quickly when we come back from break before we wrap up this forecast. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, honey, and you are listening to 222.9, the Mothership, internet radio for the road less traveled. Beam up. Ori, the Poetic Incantation, written by yours truly. I painted this a crown lavender for you. Listen. Ori, Ori, voice of the god, voice of the goddess, that slice of Olodumare in you, in me, the spirit, and all living things, Ibashe Iponri. It must be open, open to receive, the first womb in us all to conceive. Downloads. Obedience results in divine tales to be told, and a sight to behold you become. But the ego suffers marriage casualties, so don't run. Surrender, and life gets fun. So come, the sun awaits to caress your pineal. It gets real when your vision shifts. Your soul will sing Aretha riffs. As your spiritual gifts get discovered, you'll love it, Ori. Ori. Ibashe Bonri, spirit of the consciousness, where thoughts and experiences nest, rest, processed and harvest perception, the body, the spirit, and soul's constant birth, death, and resurrection. Once erected, discern to protect it, become more selective. Humility makes it, keeps it open, open to correction, and you're a constant painted brush of imperfect perfection. Ori, Ori, the first mind. How eighth and ninth chakras connect to third eyes. And like owls, you'll grow wise. And the pigeons may despise, 'cause it may make you look pompous. But actually it's your compass. Through labyrinths, turn new neural pathways that irrigate your own ways. Of genius. Live and love the God and Goddess embodiment and mean it. Ori. Ori. That light switched on from within, see. Those who seek union with their spiritual double tend to steer around troubles more fluently. Instinct creates distinction between intelligence and imbalanced thinking, and more easily visible are tricksters that come with booty shaking and eyes winking. Choices and actions switch the tonics you're drinking, and you're tasting the sweetness of molasses divine living. And you just shivered if this resonates. Subvert the seeds that all your divine mind incubates. Shift the math, shift the math, shift the math, and recalculate a new totality. Ori oni re, that higher reality. Ori, Ori, Olodamare in you and in me. Assisted by the Orishas, speaking through mounted street preachers, forces of our natures, then life becomes a teacher, with blessings in tow for those who keep reaching, to beseech thee, highest you, the highest me. Raise the vibration and the world beams up collectively, so let's just be aligned with Impori, Iponri, Ori, Ori, the lock and the key. Ayatsa J. Muse, moonwaxing in Scorpio. Ashe. From Headdress First, an overview and workbook for your Ori. The Art of Spirituality, Volume 1, written and produced by Ayatsa J.T. Muse. Available now. See the link in my profile. Oh, and beam up to 222.9, the Mothership on Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time to hear excerpts of this book infused with contemporary gospel and a smooth jazz groove, all in veneration to the King of the Orisha, Obatala. Ashe. And we are back. So before I end this forecast, I would like to share an excerpt with you from my 222-page book of KWANZAA greatness, KWANZAA in Orbit, KWANZAA Beamed Up. It's available on Amazon, and I have the audio and ebook available on the pin site link that I just posted in this video's comment section. And since UMOJA, December 26th, is coming on a Tuesday, and it's Tuesday now, I'm going to share a piece of the chapter on UMOJA. Okay? This UMOJA calls us to experience the fullness of our personal dualities and how they create unity and division to the whole. We are also called to examine what brings us together as a people and what tears us apart, because this year's UMOJA sees a full moon in Gemini, and that's the moon that calls us to deal with our inner dualities. We must still be mindful that we can only create unity with those of like vibration and can only create peace where there is opposition. Agreeing to disagree is still a form of unity, as there is still a dedication to collective peace. And from this peace, we can grow alliances. And unity comes easier when small groups create a tribe. We have come through the darkest of the dark, yet still shine the brightest. And much has been done and is still being done to keep us biologically, spiritually, and economically divided. So let's meditate on repairing those divisions in the spirit of Umoja, in the spirit of unity. Upon lighting your Umoja black candle in your ceremony, meditate on sending away, banishing all blockages that keeps you from uniting with your God self, your inner self, your divine purpose, your spiritual family, and your tribe of like mind. And this is how, one of many ways, should I say, you can keep the Umoja principle of Kwanzaa all year long. Ashe, you're going to be hearing and seeing a lot more of this book from now until December 26th, all the way through January 2nd. So, if you haven't already, make sure you grab your copy of Kwanzaa in Orbit, Kwanzaa Beamed Up. I'm Ayansa J. Muse, and this has been your 9 p.m. or 6 a.m. Mystic Forecast. If you're listening at 9, stay tuned for my Tuesday nightly vision of what love looks like, brought to you by the Divine Fathers of Song. And there is nothing like when a divine masculine sings to you. Oh, goodness. If you're listening at 6 a.m., then stay tuned for the rising Bimbe to Oya. Before we get to your exotic mothers of song jam out all day long, remember this is a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week radio station. Not a radio show, not a podcast. 24/7, baby. And remember, the sky is big enough for us all to be stars. And in the words of George Clinton, free your mind. Your ass will follow. I'm Ayansa J. Muse, and this is Radio for the Road Less Traveled. 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. Actually, that's the wrong outro, so I'm going to switch that up because I forgot to take it off the orbit. That's what I get for trying to make that grand exit and didn't even set the video up right. But hey, it's all good. This is what it is when you're a one-woman band here. But while I still got you on here, make sure you also look on that pin site link to sign the email list so you can stay in the loop of what's going on in the exclusive orbit of 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio, because there are many things that I'll be posting about cosmic wisdom that you will not see on the mainstream social media. So don't be scared to come on behind the curtain. I'm Ayansa J. Muse, and this is 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. Every day is special. Why not find out mystically how? This is the forecast on your Mystic Music Haven on the airwaves. 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. Every day is special. Why not find out mystically how? This is the forecast on your Mystic Music Haven on the airwaves. 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. Now, I know I just ended this broadcast.